in the WNBA, there are 6 head coaching vacancies, with the very latest being the Indiana Fever, as the Fever have fired head coach Christie Sides after just 2 seasons.
Oh dear. The coaching carousel this offseason has been crazier than a Harlem Globetrotters game. I mean, we've got coaches getting fired left and right. Kurt Miller, Teresa Weatherspoon, Latricia Trammell, Tanisha Wright, Eric Thibault. The only thing missing is a random dancing hot dog mascot to complete the circus. But the one that's really got everyone talking is the Indiana Fever's parting ways with their head coach, Christie Sides.
Gone. She gone. Fired.
Crew Chile, the way social media has been blowing up afterwards, you'd think the fate of the free world depends on who's going to be the next Fever coach. Let me break it down for y'all. The Fever, bless their hearts, finally made the playoffs this past season for the first time since 2016. You know, back when my grandma was still doing the Macarena. Now, I know what you're thinking. The Fever made the playoffs, so why fire the coach? Well, apparently, even with stars like Caitlin Clark, Aaliyah Boston, and Kelsey Mitchell, the team was still struggling at times, and a lot of fans pointed the finger at the coaching staff.
Huge overhaul of the organization as they move into the big time.
So the Fever brass decided it was time for a change. They announced on Sunday that they were relieving Christie Sides of her head coaching duties. Here's what the official statement reads. We are incredibly thankful to Coach Sides for embracing the challenge of leading us through an integral transition period over the last 2 seasons, while also positioning us well for future growth, said Fever President of Basketball Operations Kelly Krauskopf. While decisions like these are never easy, it is also imperative that we remain bold and assertive in the pursuit of our goals, which includes maximizing our talent and bringing another WNBA championship back to Indiana. Coach Sides was an incredible representative of the Fever and our community, and we wish her nothing but success in the future. Talk about a Sunday fun day, am I right? Now, Christie Sides had been with the Fever organization for a minute. She started as an assistant coach back in 2017, then became the head honcho in 2023. At the time, she was not messing around. She took the Fever from a 13-27 record in her first season to a respectable 20-20 in 2024. But I guess that just wasn't good enough for the Fever front office. They were like, nah ma'am, we want a championship, not just a participation trophy. You know how it is. In the WNBA, there's no room for moral victories. It's win or go home, baby. Now, the rumor mill is already spinning faster than a Beyblade about who's going to be the next Fever coach. And let me tell you, the name that keeps popping up is Stephanie White. Y'all remember Stephanie, right? She was the Fever's head coach back in 2015 and 2016, before she dipped out to coach at Vanderbilt and then ended up with the Connecticut Sun. Well, apparently, the Fever is trying to lure her back to Indy, and as it stands, it's most likely going to happen. As we saw in those headlines, Stephanie just ended her contract with the Sun. Now, some of you are probably thinking, so where is Caitlin Clark in all of this? For one thing, we know that Clark and Stephanie have tons of respect for each other.
Coach White had said that Clark was going to be the player who adapted the best to the WNBA coming out of college. She defended Caitlin Clark from early season WNBA struggles. Meanwhile, Clark, who faced White's team in her first WNBA game, called her a great basketball mind.
Now let me tell you what's really wild. All these Fever coaches have one thing in common. They've all rocked the jersey number 22. Stephanie White wore it back in her Purdue days, Christie Sides repped it at Louisiana Tech, and now Caitlin Clark is carrying on the legacy in the WNBA. In fact, there's even a viral pic going around of Sides defending White during the 1999 Final Four. Purdue took down Louisiana Tech that day, but now the tables have turned and the Fever are eyeing White to be their new coach. It's like a real-life version of The Parent Trap, but with basketball instead of summer camp. I wonder if the Fever front office is like, yo, if Sides could hold her own against White back in the day, just imagine what Caitlin Clark could do with Stephanie as her coach. And speaking of Caitlin Clark, can we just take a moment to appreciate how this girl is absolutely killing it in the WNBA? I mean, she was named Rookie of the Year, made the All-Star team as a starter, and even recorded not 1 but 2 triple-doubles in her inaugural season. The girl is a straight-up unicorn, y'all. Like Diana Taurasi who. Caitlin Clark is the new IT girl of the WNBA, and everyone's trying to get a piece of her, including these former Fever coaches. Christie Sides, bless her heart, was gushing about Caitlin, saying she has that Michael Jordan, Kobe Bryant, Steph Curry level of competitiveness. And you know what? I can't even disagree with her. When Caitlin steps on the court, it's like she's got ice in her veins and fire in her soul. She's a pure hooper, through and through, and she's making the WNBA more exciting than a Harlem Globetrotters halftime show. But Caitlin Clark isn't the only one making waves in the WNBA coaching carousel. As I mentioned earlier, we've got coaches getting the boot left and right, and it's not just the Fever. Kurt Miller got the boot from the Sparks. Teresa Weatherspoon got the boot from the Sky. Latricia Trammell got the boot from the Wings. Tanisha Wright got the boot from the Dream. And Eric Thibault got the boot from the Mystics. It's like a game of musical chairs, but instead of chairs, it's head coaching gigs. And let me tell you, these ladies are not messing around. They're out here fighting tooth and nail to keep their jobs. And if you can't keep up, you might as well start updating your LinkedIn profile. But you know what's really interesting about all this coaching carousel drama? It actually speaks volumes about the state of the WNBA. I mean, think about it. These are some of the best basketball minds in the business, and yet they're getting the boot left and right. It just goes to show you how competitive and cutthroat the league has become. There's no room for mediocrity, no participation trophies. It's all about winning championships. And if you can't deliver, you're out the door faster than a Usain Bolt 100-meter dash. And let's not forget, the WNBA is trying to grow and expand its fan base. They need to put the best product on the court, and that means having the right coaching staff in place. These teams can't afford to mess around. They need leaders who can maximize the talent they have and take their franchises to the next level. Now, let's talk about this whole Christie Sides situation a little more. I mean, the way she handled her dismissal is honestly just as impressive as Caitlin Clark's on-court heroics. Instead of throwing a fit or airing out the Fever on social media, Sides took the high road and posted a simple message on X that said, "Leave it better than you found it," followed by a victory hand emoji. Mic drop, am I right? It's like she's saying, y'all can try to cancel me, but I'm still gonna keep that positive championship mindset. And let's not forget, Sides was actually the only coach this past season who didn't get a Coach of the Year vote that went to Cheryl Reeve or Sandy Brondello. So the Fever front office must have really had it out for her, huh? They were like, sorry, sis. But even if the fans and the media think you're doing a good job, we're just not feeling the vibes. Gotta love the ruthlessness of the WNBA, am I right? Honestly, the more I think about it, the more I'm convinced that the Fever's decision to part ways with Christie Sides is all part of some elaborate scheme to bring Stephanie White back to Indy. It's like they're playing 4D chess while the rest of us are still stuck in the 2D world of checkers. But you know what? I'm here for it. Bring on the WNBA coaching carousel drama, I say. And with Caitlin Clark leading the charge, I can guarantee the 2025 season is going to be one for the history books. So, there you have it, folks. The juiciest WNBA coaching carousel drama you'll find this side of the Mississippi. From Stephanie White potentially making a comeback in Indiana, to Christie Sides' graceful exit, it's been a wild ride. But you know what they say, when the going gets tough, the tough get coaching. And these WNBA ladies are tougher than a $2 steak. All right, that's all I got for you today. Make sure to hit that like button and subscribe if you want more WNBA drama, hot takes, and one-liners. Thanks for watching.